Hey peeps, today we'll talk about the game's free-to-play commanders and their awakening. More in particular, we'll select 5 commanders which are worth to be awakened first if you're a free-to-play player. And this list isn't in any best to worst order or anything, so keep that in mind. So if we go to the commander menu, I've already pinned all the free-to-play commanders at the top, so it's easier to find them. It's a great functionality. But anyways, for our first recommendation, we'll have to go with Shayla, and let's explain why. She gives us a couple of things. First, she's an absolute beast when it comes to PvE, like Rebel Leaders and events like Werewolf Memories, Werewolf Tree, etc. She can dish out a ton of damage by herself, and that's quite vital for a free-to-play player, having an easier time with all the daily tasks and events. Second, her 4-star ability, Continuous Shot. It lets us have a grain bank on our main account, so you would be able to save some grain vouchers in that way. Even if this doesn't seem as worth it, trust me, if you're training a lot of troops, you will appreciate it. And finally, about Shayla, we have some bowman attack bonuses. Even if those are most useful if you're actually using bowmen, it's worth to mention it, although it's not relevant for all players. Next on the list we have Arya Stark, a great infantry commander. There are a couple of reasons why I picked her, but let's start with the bonuses she gives, and more specifically the total attack that she gives. She's the only free-to-play commander giving us that useful bonus, total attack, and she would fit in your PvP lineup no matter what troops you're using. Another reason to include her in this list is her performance against Rebel Leaders and in the training grounds and similar game aspects. She's really strong when it comes to that, and to be honest, those exact game aspects are one of the most rewarding for free-to-play players, and logically you'd want to be able to perform better in them. Continuing with our lists, we have Sansa Stark. I have to say 3 things about her. If you're a bowman player or struggling against bowmen, her awakening stat bonuses would suit you perfectly. We have bowman attack, enemy bowman attack reduction. Those are great bonuses. Second, her 4-star awakening gives us more hospital capacity and shelter size. Why is that important? My guess is that most people who are free to play are running a zero castle setup, and exactly those 2 bonuses are quite useful when it comes to that. Having more beds in the hospital and bigger shelter could help you run more troops or be more comfortable with your current army count. Okay, and lastly, Sansa is quite great for training grounds and PvE as a quite decent healing commander. And as we said with Arya, you want to be improving those game aspects if you're free to play, so you can be getting more rewards. Next up, we have 4 commanders depending on what troops your account is using. We have Chris for infantry, we have Rob for cavalry, we have Goro for spearmen, and we have Kravras for bowmen. This pick in the list is only oriented towards PvP and improving your main army unit. We had enough commanders to improve our PvE aspects, but I know some people want to fight and have some fun while doing that. So improving your battle commanders is exactly how you can do it. All 4 of these commanders give your army stats, and they give actually a lot of stats to the corresponding troop type, and their troop ability is also connected with them. So if you're, for example, running infantry, you would want to awaken Chris to 4 stars to have all those infantry bonuses and that 4-star ability directly connected to infantry troops. That would help you a lot when it comes to PvP. Finally, for our last recommendation, we have 3 commanders. All of them are, again, PvP oriented. We have Haley for infantry. We have Mero, let me find him. We have Mero for cavalry, and we also have Arslan for spearmen. The reasoning behind them is the exact same as the previous 4, but you may notice that there isn't a bowman commander amongst them. The reason is quite simple. There isn't a decent bowman commander to include that hasn't been mentioned yet or awakened yet. Maybe in the future, when we get Egbert awakened, that could change. We'll see. But for now, it's like that. So pretty much that's my list. But I want to tell you one last thing. After you've awakened some free-to-play commanders and you're happy with what you've got, you shouldn't be aiming for maxing out the rest of the commanders one by one. A much better approach is to get the rest of the commanders up to 2 stars. For example, you can see that I have Winton 2 stars, Chris 2 stars, Barrett, Russell, Soren, etc. I have them at 2 stars. So I can get more tavern bonuses, and therefore I get more things out of the tavern. So I would advise you to do just that. If you have the commanders that you want at 4 stars, the rest of the commanders, first get them to 2 stars and then awaken them further. With that said, we reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something if you're a newer player, and until next time.